It's a ghetto people song, only them can sing this world. It's a song for the poor who is facing suffering. It's a ghetto people song, only them can sing this world. It's a song for the poor who is facing suffering. Young Police Channel from Jamaica. Big up, Rastafari. Everton Blender said that.
Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yeah, so we have reached in a different era of criminality in the 21st century, in which criminals them want their arguments to be known to, so they want relevancy as legitimate entities that operate in the underworld, and they want people to know that's they want to normalize that their criminality. So someone who's connected to Pops, the man who's behind the killing of these people, want to make the record straight and telling us at the Jamaica Young Police channel off the record that the killing of Pops, the killing by Pops, that it was done to protect the poor, and that Mandez, and John Dixon, of course, irreparable pain, anguish, and all of these things over the years, and that what they wanted to do was to tax the poor people living in Warwick Isle, monthly. And Pop said, no, as these are poor people you are taxing. I did not know that these so-called, but them call themselves Dan protectors and all of these things, but on God's earth. So I don't know if this is another smoking mirror. So they said that is the main reason why that's why WAPA switch on them, because they wanted to tax them. But I've been spoken with this man who, is close to Pops, because then Pops, they want to know how we come by the information about Pops. As we said before, I've also everybody love informer. We are the Jamaica Young Police and we'll not share that information with anyone or we come by our information. Never ever. So as we tell you already, the phone is a two-way radio. So Pops has shut down his phone. So as you look at the man, that's the man that was behind the massacre, and he's not from out there, He used to live in Slip Black Road. I know that they are hell-bent on wiping out people who were related to him because of the Burkes. Yes, Angela Brown Burke and her husband Paul Burke. So criminals often portray themselves as leaders, protectors, and even dons or dads, wielding influence over their communities. They claim to be the guardian of the poor, offering a semblance of order in exchange for loyalty. But in reality, these so-called dons are nothing more than human parasites. And I've said that already and I say it again. Growing up in a belly of the beast, I have never experienced a guy tell me what to do or anything like that. Because, not because of my family, but we never experienced that. So we never experienced a guy come tell me what I must do, how I can walk, and I never have that problem. So I don't know how it feel like and all of them things there. But in reality, as we say, these dons are nothing but human parasites, draining the life and spirit from the very people they pretend to protect. In communities like Warwick Isle, now bitterly renamed Pleasant Heights, the action of these men, particularly Mandez, John Dixon, Kira, and his associates have left a trail of blood and devastation, proving they are anything but the champion of the downtrodden. The people of Warwicker Hill, Pleasant Heights, what them call it now, have long suffered under the yoke of men like Mandez, whose power was built not on respect or genuine leadership, but on fear, violence, and exploitation. The so-called protection offered by Mandez, John Dixon, Kira was a lie, a facade behind which he and his crony thrived while the community withered. Under his reign, innocent lives were taken, families were destroyed, and the fragile peace that could have united the community was replaced with terror and division. So them say they want to name John Dixon, they want to get this, the 7 shot them in him back of him head, that Kira, because he was the intended target, but Pops extended and said, no, all of them, I left now, because Kira trusts you, so you have to take him out, you have to take him father and him too, father and son. You have to get them comfortable. So that's why I tell you there's no honest criminal. So while they were there enjoying the game and man a drink and music and all of these things, and a man there with them rifle, they said they didn't know that was the end, that was their end was coming. But them they and them comfortable because Wapper told Mandez that, hey, a lot of them tell me now I'll kill you and him thing. I don't want to kill your dads and him take God off a cross and swear, and then his son Kira say, no, daddy, him not do that, man. I'm my G, I'm my charge, I'm my youth. Because him give him things and them even spend how much millions and get him out of custody when them hold him. You understand? In a police hold him and money run, police like a man. Me don't know how them do it, but hey, so it go on them thing, man. It's all about money now. Loyalty no exists in fighting crime in Jamaica anymore. Especially with these uniformed police officers. As I said before, when the detectives were on the street, Jamaica was much safer. But you have to understand, remember I said degree people there, them control Jamaica, so they are the real criminals. Them know what they are doing. Because uniformed police and all, they are not crime fighters, they are hustlers. Like security guards, I tell you, the real police are the detectives. But they make certain that they make the detective impotent because the real criminals are the degree people. And the 63 people in the parliament, they're responsible for making the police force impotent. So that's where we're at right now. So for years, the people of Warwicker were forced to live under the shadow of violence, knowing that any challenge, to John Dixon, the man the least good thing, the man could result in death. His gang's hands were stained with the blood of many residents, including innocent people. If you notice, nobody not really talking about him, but not really talk about John Dixon per se, because as much as him want to crab up a Dan out there and him thing there, but the real man, because it go way back, at the brother one here, Mandez, because him have the money. Because him win a bag of money in America or California, and him go back to Jamaica, millions in the US, so him did have the money to spend. For him use the money and, try to uplift the community, him go there and want to control people, and yet, based on what this man has said, when I know for sure, like, he might try to tax the people them. Maybe people them from Warwicker can, when we talk with them, then we confirm or deny what he's saying. Because, we have sources them, you understand what I'm saying? We'll find out one and two little things. So the idea, that Mandez, was a leader, a protector of the community, was nothing more than grotesque mockery. In truth, John Dixon, Mandez, Kira, he and his men were predators, leeching of the very people they claim to defend. So for years, the people of Warwicker upset because them people kill them family member, and the gang hands were stained with the blood of many residents, including innocent people whose only crime was living in a community that had become a battleground for power and control. But what is there to control out there? Just stone and brushes and all of them things and hell. So the community expressed a deep hatred for John Dixon, Mandez and Kira. Many residents spoke of the irreparable harm he caused, not just through direct violence, but through the constant threat of it His so-called leadership was nothing but oppression. He and his gang imposed illegal taxes on the poor, demanding payment under the guise of protection, while they enrich themselves. So although the people them there, so after him come back now, Mandez come back now, say my unite the place. Then what break the camel, what break the straw on the camel back, and when them you have to impose tax now upon the resident them up there. So it's based on the size of your house, you have to pay taxes a month time. And them people claim say them love poor people. And these are the people in time police kill them, the people in Black Road for them. Because you have them where benefit from the spoils. So when you live in a these community, all them justify it. This is the second. I remember the first time when I've heard of people in East Kingston paying taxes. I mean, like, man, say them want money for buy gunshot and them thing there from working people and them not work. I say, all that. So now, this. When I was a police officer, these things never happened in my police area at all, where people tax people for, you understand what I'm saying? Because I would have devised some plan how to get rid of them. Because what we had in St. Andrew South when I was at Unspear, anytime them try to oppress the poor, we always find some way to make certain, because you have to send messages in. You have to know if you deal with them heartless criminal and them thing there. You understand? Because jail can't reform them. The only reform is the departure loan. Yeah. You understand? You give them a warning and then you eat to the warning then. After the warning, then they come to storming. And that's how it goes straight to the departure lounge. Because these people, I see poor people, them oppressed with them claims that them love. And them not love them. Parasite them. You understand? So, I will tell you the people, them hate, especially John Dixon. And them claim say my done have dance. And them just use right time. All these years them want to catch him. So them just get them comfortable and them get what them want. So so them now are coming with them illegal taxes on the poor, demanding payment. How if you do that? These men had money, influence and power, yet they start to bleed the community dry, targeting the most vulnerable in an already impoverished era. Oh, if you tax poor people and you came say yo love the poor. That's why I tell a man, me not like them kind of people, parasite them. So the weight of their crime hung heavily over Warwick Hills. Every resident knew someone who had been hurt, robbed, or killed by these so-called protectors. It wasn't just about criminal activities. It was about the way they choked the life out of their community, creating a climate of constant fear. Them say boy John Dixon wasn't a leader. He was a parasite, living after the blood, sweat, and fear of his neighbors. So them say when Mandez, John Dixon and his men and Kira were killed, it was far from Kumbaya moment. There was no songs of peace or unity. It was a moment where the people saw an opportunity for justice. Justice that had been long been denied to them by every man who claimed to be their protectors. For some, this wasn't just about removing a criminal threat. It was about revenge for the countless lives Mandez, John Dixon, Cairo, and his gangs have stayed over the years. Their death was seen by many as a form of retribution for the families they had torn apart, the lives they had stolen, and the terror they had sown. In the criminal underworld where revenge often taking place of formal justice, this was an opportunity to right the wrongs inflicted by community. John Dixon, Cairo, Mandez had become a symbol of everything that was wrong with the corrupt power structure in Warwick Hills. Their killings represent not just an end of their reign of terror, but a chance for the community to breathe again, free from the stronghold of men who had brought them nothing but suffering. The truth is clear. These men, these so-called dons, are not leaders or protectors. They are parasites. They prey on the vulnerable, use fear as their weapon, and profit from the pain of their own people. These men's demise was a stark reminder that those who claim to protect the poor often exploit them the most. Their death may have been violent, but for many in Warwick Isle, it was long awaited end of a nightmare. Justice in whatever form it it came, was finally served. Mr. Mandez was no hero, nor was he a victim of some misguided loyalty. He was a parasite, and like all parasites, his removal brought relief. As Warwick Hills move forward, their names will be remembered, not just as leaders, but as men who took advantage of the very people they pretending to defend. A criminal whose legacy is one of bloodshed and betrayal. So we tell you already, there is no honest criminal. So as we tell you, the first trait of a criminal is dishonesty. So if you know an honest criminal, show them one. We tell you that all the time. None. So the concept of being fallible, mean that we as human beings are capable of making mistakes or misjudgments. In acknowledging this, we are open the door to understanding that our perspectives and actions may be flawed or misguided. This acknowledgement extends even to criminals who, despite their entangled in illegal activities, often speak and sometimes seek to explain or justify, in some cases, correct the narrative surrounding their actions. In 2024, as the challenges of criminality deepens, some criminals feel compelled to share their truths, hoping to reshape public perception and explain why they acted as they did. So what they want to do, they want to create this narrative, say, although we are criminal and we're ethical and we're decent and we believe in a rule of law. Bull crap, you understand? But, they want to make the wider public know, say, boy, these people, so they want to justify the killing, murder, that they might try to do. So one recent example, an individual connected to the brutal murder in Warwick Hills, now bitterly renamed Pleasant Heights, who reached out to the Jamaica Young Police Channel. This individual wanted to explain the rationale behind these violent actions against the 5 men in the community. Individuals, he claimed, had become oppressors rather than protectors. The story is a window into a darker side of criminal dynamics, where even those who are themselves guilty of serious crimes can believe they are carrying out a form of justice. So according to this informant, the men who were killed, including Mandez, John Dixon, Mandez' son Kyra, were not innocent victims, but rather parasites preying on the poor residents of Warwick Hill. Mandez, John Dixon and his associates allegedly sought to impose an illegal tax on the already struggling community, demanding regular payments from residents for their own enrichment. The police, they don't say anything like that, so but I like them, we contact them to find out if the residents support, corroborate what this man who affiliated with Pops, him know Pops, and he must say that's a reason why. So, Pops don't have no legal right to use people connected to him to use illegal guns to kill people. That's a crime. But they want to justify them action. So criminals, them do. You understand? Don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah. Believe what we are telling you. So this imposition was seen as a betrayal, a ruthless exploitation of the very people Mandez claimed to lead and protect. So despite having wealth, because Mandez rich, him win a whole heap of money the other day in a court of California against the feds. And these men choose to squeeze more from the poor and exacerbating their sufferings for personal gain. So the informant paint a picture that these so-called leaders, individuals with deep connection to the PNP LGBTQ plus criminal organization, including Jacqueline Benjamin Lewis, a PNP councillor in Rockfort who holds questionable authority within the area, allegedly placed in position of influence not through merit but through affiliation. Individuals like Lewis and others maintain power by leveraging fear, manipulation and even violence. This connection to power enabled them to take from those with little, leaving many residents not only financially depleted but stripped of hope. Community sentiments toward these figures were increasingly negative. Resentment simmers as people saw their youth labor exploited, forced to work without pay under the threat of violence. The long-standing PNP LGBTQ plus affiliated figure like George Pang, they might use them. Tony Brown were dead. That's Angela Brown Burke father. The people, they must say, boy, these men were known for hiring young men to work on community projects, then refuses to compensate them. Sometimes the youth them say them work, all of these men, in time of time forget pay, then show them gun. And these actions make them despise figures, fear as badges of power, who will take whatever they could without consequences. In essence, these so-called leaders were taken from the most vulnerable, treating them as expendable resources while maintaining their own positions and connections within the community. So the catalyst for this tragedy, as explained by the informant, was the decision by a man named Pops to put an end to the exploitation. Pops, recognizing the suffering imposed by John Dixon, Mandez, and Cairo, and his group allegedly direct Whopper to take action, viewing Mandez and his associates as parasites rather than protectors. To Pops, Mandez's attempt to exploit his own community warranted extreme measures. Measures that, while brutal, he believed would liberate the people from further oppression. In his eyes, eliminated those who prey on the poor, even if it meant killing was a form of justice. So I saw them say they don't believe in a dialogue. I must tell them, say, but no, them guys are some evil, you know, because man, there's someone rich. Why him want to tax the same poor people them? Them for pay tax to them? And what kind of service them provide? So them protect them from who? So imagine the audacity of these men to demand payment from people who can barely afford necessity, bleeding their own neighbors dry to fatten their wallets. These actions exemplify the worst kind of betrayal. Leaders who extort from the people they are supposed to protect, expecting payment from families already struggling to survive. For those like Pops, who see themselves as defender of people, it becomes an issue of fighting right or wrong, of protecting the community from men who have lost all moral standings. So him believes, boy, this one will go on and them thing that he must fight this wrong and use and to make it right for the people. Because the men them lose their moral standards. So the details shared in the account do not excuse the violence, but instead illuminate the morally complex landscape of Jamaica's criminal underworld, where one group's justice is another oppression. The tragic events in Warwick Isle serve as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and exploitation within vulnerable communities. It is a bitter reminder of the fallibility, not just of individuals, but of an entire system that allows such abuses to flourish. So in the end, we are all fallible, capable of error and influenced by circumstances that shape our decisions. But it's crucial to distinguish between fallibility and outright exploitation. For those like Mandez and his associates who abuse their position to extort from their community, fallibility became an excuse for greed and cruelty. For those who have sought to stop them, even though violent means, there is a belief that some actions are justified in the name of protecting the powerless. So as we reflect on this story, we must question who's responsible for creating an environment where criminals justice steps in to address oppression. It's a reality that forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about leadership, responsibility, and the high cost of exploitation in struggling community. So all of these things will happen. That's something in a vacuum. I see politicians them create this environment for these men to flourish. But on God's earth, you claim say you love poor people, but you oppress them. You know, you're wicked. You're rich and you want to tax the poor people them. John Dixon, Mandez and them son. And then I pretend because you know I watch one wallop a gun. And the man them just make you feel comfortable. And all these years, all of the people them John Dixon him kill, say my dance of dance. And must send him straight to the departure lounge. So now the woman, the counselor woman, who was John Dixon's girlfriend, and the principal, well, let's see what will happen with her, because you know them people they operate in these community a dog eat dog world, you know. So have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica, Young Police Channel, out.
We no afraid, we no see no one where we afraid.